morning. This is Rich Nelson with Allendale. Special update for us for January 12th of year 2022. Four separate USDA reports out this morning covering a lot of different things. Annual production summary revises corn and soybean production from this past year. We also have quarterly grain stocks, the count of old crop stocks left over as of December 1 quarter of usage for corn and soybeans, what's left over after 2 quarters usage for wheat. We also had the monthly WASDE report. This gives us those supply changes, demand changes, as well as new ending stocks. And this does include world numbers, including South American production as well. And last report are the winter wheat seedings. So our first look at the 2022 type of planting situation as far as acreage goes. Now let's cover corn, soybeans, then wheat. On the corn side, production was raised more than expected, 15.062 billion bushels last month, now 15.115. So, a moderate increase, moderately higher than expected increase as far as production. On the demand side, USDA chose to raise corn for ethanol by 75 million bushels, very reasonable. Surprise for us is USDA chose to drop corn exports by 75 million bushels. And that comes as a good surprise, given the fact we have our South American production concerns, as well as the fact we're ahead of USDA's export sales pace that they had from back in December. So a little surprise there. And that's why U.S. ending stocks were raised from 1.493 to 1.540 billion bushels. So a little negative surprise on the U.S. balance sheet. We are a little skeptical about their changes as far as export sales, though. On the world side, Argentine corn production was lowered 500,000 tons to 54.0. Brazilian corn production lowered 3 million tons to 15.0. Both those are relatively within reason here. On the corn side, no change in USDA's numbers as far as Chinese-based estimates. On the soybean side of things here, as far as production, we did see an increase there, going from 4.425 to now 4.435 billion bushels. So a 10 million bushel increase, no surprise there. There are no changes for export sales, no changes for crush, only a very small change for that small category called residual usage here. So with this in mind, we do have maybe some changes there on the balance sheet, going from stock changes from 340 to about 350 million bushels. So only change really to note was a small increase on production. Again, USDA chose to leave export sales unchanged on this report. So ending stocks, 350 million bushels. As far as numbers on the South American side for production, Argentine production lowered by a good 3 million tons. It's now 46.5. Brazil's crop lowered to 139 million tons, a drop of 5 million tons, again to now 139. So not a big surprise there. I think that's within the trade current discussion point right now. As far as the Chinese balance sheet, no numbers as far as changes to speak of there. As far as wheat, for this report, USDA rarely changes production, and they did not change it on this one here. With a few small changes to feed residual, a few small changes to imports and whatnot, USDA did raise the ending stock numbers, 498 to now 628 million bushels. And as far as this goes, this did come helping with a 15 million bushel drop for exports. Very reasonable. So higher than expected stocks as far as the wheat issue here. Over on the wheat balance sheet for other countries, looking as far as production changes, Ukraine was left unchanged, Russia left unchanged, Australia left unchanged, Argentina only increased by 500,000 tons, now 20.5. Keep in mind, Buenos Aires Grains Exchange is now 21.8. So main issue for us on this report, not a lot of big surprises to speak of. Corn, U.S. stocks a little higher than expected. U.S. wheat stocks a little higher than expected. But as it stands, no real major change to the general discussion point of this trade. Any questions regarding this report, markets, or how to trade in these markets in general, give Allendale a call, 1-800-262-7538.